So, today we're diving into the story of Oak Inc., a company whose entire strategy wasn't dreamed up in a boardroom, but was literally forged in the fire of its founder's total and complete collapse. Let's get right into it.
Okay, so right at the heart of this whole thing is a goal so massive it sounds like something out of science fiction, to make Japan a tax-free nation by 2050. And on top of that, create 1 million high-quality jobs. This isn't just a business plan, it's a national-level project. But it's how they plan to get there that makes this story just unbelievable.
Because, and this is the wild part, the entire blueprint for this grand mission was built directly from the wreckage of its founder's lowest point. So you have to ask, was this crisis just some terrible thing they managed to get through? Or was it actually part of the plan, a calculated tool to build a whole new kind of company?
All right, so to really get what they're doing, we've got to go back to the beginning, back to the crucible. This wasn't just a rough patch or a bad quarter. This was a strategic collapse, intentionally used to tear a leader down so he could be rebuilt from square one.
So between 2021 and 2022, the founder, Nguyen Hai Ha, walks right into what the source material calls a perfect storm. The media starts calling his company a scam. Then the police launch a formal investigation. The pressure got so intense that he completely cut off contact with his own family just to shield them from it all. We're talking about maximum possible duress here.
And the toll this took on him personally, it was just staggering. The founder's weight dropped from almost 90 kilograms, that's about 200 pounds, all the way down to a skeletal 45 kilos. And this happened in just 1 month. This wasn't just stress, this was a sign of a total system meltdown, both physically and psychologically. So picture this. He's at rock bottom, totally isolated, his body is failing him, and his mysterious mentor, who's only ever called the Master, gives him this totally bizarre command. Go to Nha Trang. That's a beach resort in Vietnam. I mean, from the outside, it looks like he's being told to just run and hide from it all.
But see, this wasn't about running away. This was a deliberate move, strategic isolation. The idea was to physically yank him out of the chaos, away from all the noise and the mess. By putting him in a total vacuum, the only thing left for him to face was himself. The Master was basically forcing the old fragile ego, the one that had just broken under all that pressure, to completely shatter. Now, you can't just shatter someone without giving them something to hold on to. So the Master gives him this incredibly powerful psychological anchor. It's not a comforting pat on the back. It's a direct command. You will definitely not die. Think about that. It's not a promise that he'll win. It's an order that removes failure, quitting, or even death as an option. The only way out is to transform.
Okay, so the old self is shattered, the leader is anchored, the deconstruction phase is over. Now it's time to build something new. And this is where the Master starts forging the company's new, unbreakable DNA with two really interesting mandates.
And the first order of business was, well, it was deeply personal, almost weirdly so in a corporate context. Right in the middle of all this chaos, the founder is ordered to write a letter to his baby son. Why? Well, think about it. A normal business plan, you can change it, you can scrap it. But a promise a father makes to his son, written at the absolute lowest point in his life, that's forever. That letter became the official design plan for the entire company, hardwiring its mission to something personal and absolute.
So that's the moral compass, right? It's locked in. But for a mission this huge, making Japan tax-free, you need more than just a promise. You need a weapon. The second mandate was to finish building their powerful Forex trading AI. This was going to be the financial engine for their entire revolution.
And the power of this thing, it's almost hard to wrap your head around. The simulations they ran showed it could theoretically take an initial $10,000 and turn it into an incredible $53 billion. That just shows you the kind of mind-boggling financial power you need to even begin to think about a goal that big.
And you have to understand, nothing here was an accident. Every single step was deliberate. The deadline to finish the AI's first version, it was set for November 7th, the anniversary of the October Revolution. The Master was tying this technology to a bigger, revolutionary purpose. As he put it himself, when I force you to do something, it is not a coincidence. So let's take stock. We have a leader rebuilt from scratch and a financial nuclear weapon that can basically print money. This, right here, is the most dangerous moment. Unchecked financial power corrupts, right? So how do you stop this whole thing from just turning into another greedy, self-serving hedge fund?
Well, they did it by building in 3 safety fuses right into its DNA. First up, subordination. The money from the AI can never be more than 30% of the company's total profit. This forces them to build real businesses that create real value. Second, non-exploitation. A total ban on trading stocks or crypto, because they see those as zero-sum games where for you to win, someone else has to lose. And third, real value. They can only trade in markets with actual tangible demand, like currencies, gold, and silver. It keeps them grounded in the real economy.
All right, so the company's rebuilt, the weapon is contained, but how do you actually launch this thing into the world, especially when your name has been dragged through the mud as a scam? They had a massive trust problem. Their solution? Honestly, it was a masterstroke.
They focused their energy on a product that, at first glance, has absolutely nothing to do with their mission, a childcare AI. And it's not a side project. This is projected to be 64% of their sales. So how on earth does a parenting app help you transform an entire country's economy? Well, it's their Trojan horse.
This is just genius, because it works on so many levels at once. First, it gets them into the most intimate, trusted space there is, the home. They're helping parents raise their kids, which builds incredible trust from the ground up. But here's the real play. The app is secretly a recruitment pipeline. It's designed to find and develop that future workforce of 1 million people they need. It's a massive talent farm, identifying and raising a generation of workers who believe in the company's mission from childhood.
So, when you zoom out and look at the whole picture, you see this complete, absolutely radical model. The crisis wasn't a setback. It was the entire point. It was the tool they needed to forge a company with this kind of vision. They didn't just survive the crisis created them.
But the story ends with this really ominous warning. They've built the company, their castle of belief. But the real war, the decades-long struggle to actually pull off their mission, that's just getting started. Turns out, building the company was the easy part. And that, right there, leaves us with the biggest question of all. A mission that's born from that kind of intense, personal fire is incredibly powerful. But can it last? Can that founding promise from a father to his son survive a decades-long war? What happens when the vivid memory of the crisis that started this whole thing finally starts to fade? That's the real test.